Oh yeah, so funny story. This is the first time me and Deanna are actually meeting. We have never met in person.
What? Whoa.
That is a funny story.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We're back with episode 9. I always have to look back. We're back with episode 9. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us, the Kasi Podcast. We appreciate it. We're back with another special guests. We have Deanna, Alexandra.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. I still don't know which one I should stick with.
It's fine, any.
Give
Whatever's
me one,
easy.
please, because I'm going to be like going back and forth.
Okay, go with Alexandra. Yeah.
Alexandra, we've got
Yeah.
Deanna and Alexandra with us. The Injectit Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you.
Yeah, all good, all good.
How have things been? Like, everyone's got the update recently about June 21st.
Yeah.
How have you guys been? You got locked down and looking forward to that.
While you guys can go to the club and everything, I am getting on a plane. Yeah, that's it. This is my diary to just make sure I'm at Heathrow. Yeah.
Listen, I hope you're planning to get the vaccine.
Yeah, I'll take it. Just inject me with the vaccine.
If we have to go, it's not for your armor.
Literally.
And you as well?
I'll do anything. That's what my kind of thing at the moment. Like, invite me to a motive, I'll be there. Like, actually, to some extent, I'm just thinking, like, now that it's getting closer to that, the 21st,
Yeah.
my mind might change. But I feel like I'm just desperate to be around people. Like, I haven't been around young people in so long. With my parents, who, like, obviously I get on with, but I need some young energy.
I hear you, man. People are struggling out there. Even when this comes out, I hope to God that we're talking, because we're talking from like before. For like this is gonna come out a while later, so I hope it's still the same, and it's still June 21st. I hope they don't change it, because plans always go wherever they want to go. But yeah, so you guys are the Injectit Podcast. Talk to us about that, about the podcast, how you guys started it, how you got in touch.
Oh yeah, so funny story. This is the first time me and Deanna are actually meeting. We have never met in person.
What? Whoa.
That is a funny story.
So we kind of met through a mutual friend, but through an app.
It sounds so dodgy. And it was quite dodgy.
Yeah, actually, that app was quite dodgy.
Wait. We met through a mutual friend through an app.
So basically,
That's the title, Simba. Sorry, go on.
We were invited as talent onto an app, basically, where it's an app where you chat to people and just entertain people, kind of like Instagram Live. Yeah, but very more chaotic. So
What's
we
this
were
app called?
Bigo. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we were invited on this app. So we were under the same talent agency which was ran by our friend.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So you're both mutual friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Alex met him at uni and then I met him. I went to school with him and I'm still friends with
Okay.
him now. So we've never actually met, but we've always had this.
Okay. How long ago
mutual
was that?
friends.
when we were on the app.
Thing, yeah.
Okay,
when
we
you
were on the
mentioned.
app in
November.
November.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we met in November and then we decided to host like a little panel talk show on the app together.
Okay. Yeah.
And then after we did the one, we were like, no, what, might as well just do a podcast instead, which is a bit more tangible than talking to random people who then like to take over conversations and start.
But was it like a thing off the cuff? Like, we might as well start a podcast, or was it like...
What it was that Deanna came back to me with a long list of topics.
So you were serious about
She
it?
came back to me with a long list of topics of things that we could discuss in these panels. And I was like, I'd rather do a podcast with most of these topics because a lot of them were very serious. I was like,
Bigo can't handle that.
I was
they
like,
weren't ready.
let's just do a podcast because these people they can't take it. They
Yeah.
can't. And it was funny when we came up with the name of the podcast because we were on the app live, and then I don't know, someone just said Injectit, and we were like, yes, inject it. But funny story.
Yeah.
That is a funny story. I was not expecting that at all. But anyway, Deanna, this is Alexandra.
Yeah,
Alexandra is
Yeah,
Deanna.
it's really nice to see you.
That's hilarious. All right, cool. So you started this podcast. You both say, okay, we're gonna do this Injectit podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You had you was on. I'm assuming you was on the same page of what sort of things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
This had to just align correctly because when you listen to it, you are very much two people who are on the same page, on the same vibe, should I say.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, what if, were you both confident at the time that you connected and you could have a podcast? Because what if you met some topics where you were just totally on?
We kind of are sometimes though.
Yeah.
So especially
I think
about
that's good,
relationship
though.
things. We think differently about a lot of stuff around relationships.
Yeah.
But like initially we would text each other, like after doing these panels on the app, we'd text each other and be like, oh, that guy was stupid. These comments were ridiculous.
Bigo,
Bigo.
If you look at it online, you're going to think this app is for like the creepiest
Children,
people.
like you think it's for. At first, you think it's for children because of how chaotic it is. It looks a bit like Candy Crush. It's like Candy Crush, Instagram, TikTok, all put together, and it's all live.
And OnlyFans.
Yeah, good one. But you can't do anything explicit on there. But people, they don't do anything explicit.
Yeah.
But then they do questionable things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how did you find it? Like,
It was weird.
it like as in not the
It's weird app.
the podcast and used to like starting it and
It
trying to
was-
figure out how to construct it.
I think it was easy because like we both had this list of stuff and we our kind of like core thing was that we both come from similar like backgrounds. We're both from different areas that are outside of London where we've experienced being the only like black person in the room a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
we could relate on a lot of things like around that subject. And then we were telling each other stories and we were like, this could actually all go into a podcast as well as like all the other topics we want to talk about. And then naturally every week we see things that come up and then we're like, oh, like let's talk about this in the podcast. And it's just easy because we talk to each other like every day.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I'm just getting over like 20 minutes ago you just met each other. So yeah, no, I got, like I told you guys earlier, I'd got in touch with you guys a while ago and I was just, surfing whatever, Instagram. I was looking at other podcasts. I just was listening to a few things here and there, just looking at it, and yeah, it just interested me, and I just felt like I wanted to just keep checking it out, see what it was. So I followed you guys, and you talked about some interesting topics, some topics that need to be had. And so for me, I feel like it's always interesting sometimes because I have my opinions on all these things, but I am full aware that I am a guy, and from a female's point of view, it could be totally different.
Yeah.
So to listen to a podcast, even though there are so many like female podcasts out there, but I don't listen to so many. So to listen to a podcast where, it's two females talking about these things, it's always interesting for me to listen to it and think, that's not it. Or like think, okay, wow, like I didn't, or to like be like, for something to be eye-opening, like I didn't realize that from a female's point of view. I heard on the last one I listened to, something I thought was interesting, and I somewhat tried to take after my guy Simba, and I try to stay away from so much social media stuff. I'm not quite on his level, but I do my best. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't hear that goes on, and so I guess it was good in your podcast. It was informing about the manifestation list. Who B. Simone did it or something. Some people listening might know what it is already, but I'm not too sure. So could you guys tell me what that was about, the manifestation list?
So basically, B. Simone came online with a list saying how, ladies, like all the time you're saying about what you want in a man, but then you don't have most of those qualities. So she's basically saying, which I like, which, but yeah, anyway, so she was just there saying, oh yeah, so you guys want a man who can drive, you guys want a man who has money, you guys want a man who has this amazing job, but then you guys don't have that. So try and actually have some of those qualities yourself before you're like asking for it in men, kind of thing. And like we saw quite a lot of different opinions on it. I feel like I agree.
What were some
mostly.
what were some of the sides that people were?
Okay, so people who would say they agreed, basically were just like, in the sense of, sometimes like it seems like women are always asking so much of men, but then they're not even trying to have most of those qualities themselves, which in that sense I kind of understand where they're coming from, because and like why can't we actually be building up ourselves, getting these qualities for ourselves, rather than just all the time we're just expecting men to bring that for us. Then the other side was that, but why can't women ask for what they want in men? Because why not? Like, and I think it's more in the stance of course we're already working on ourselves, so why can't we ask for the best in men? So which I get both sides of it. But
where did you two stand on that?
I think her video generally, what she was saying is truth. Like I think anyone should be working on themselves, and a relationship shouldn't be the center of what you're like trying to get on with your life. Like you need to be building your own skills and learning, continuing to learn. And a relationship is an added extra. Like that's something that you can get if you want, but it's not like a necessity. Like your well-being and your mind is like the most important thing. But at the same time, I get it was funny. I get what she was saying, but at the same time, it gave so many like bummy men the excuse to like be like, yeah, women, you need to like. But it just gave the like annoying men some sort of like, I don't even know. It made them feel like they can spread their views.
They were like validated.
Yeah,
it was like
everyone was resharing it on their stories, and I thought
it was like, you guys stop asking the most from
women.
It's okay, I don't have money.
Yeah.
Nah, it is an interesting thing, and there is and has been for a long time a thing of more so society telling men they need to have these certain things if they want to, impress a girl or whoever it may be. But there hasn't been so much of that. Of course, there's been different things here and there. But in terms of the subjects that she brought up, it's not so much expected of females. So I agree to some extent, like, but it's sort of what you said, like, no matter who it is, if you're the guy or the girl, like, you need to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
So it's like
everyone should be trying to bring their best selves to the table in any sense anyway.
Exactly. So it's like, even though it's a lot more complicated now, but I just use it as a metaphor. It's like it's a business agreement. Like no business is going to go into a deal with another business when they're bringing 100% of whatever it is and the other business is not doing anything. It's like you need for it to flourish for both of you. You need to bring in something. So I agree. Me being a guy, I agree. Them things I want, whatever them things were that she said in the list, I want to have them anyway.
Yeah.
I want to do them anyway. But at the same time, I'm not really going to be with a girl or respect a girl who doesn't want or doesn't aspire. That she ain't got to have it in a moment, but she doesn't aspire to do it. For me, that's just not. So from a guy's point of view, I saw it like that. And she was just expecting me to do whatever or have whatever, So no, it is... that is interesting. What's this? Is this related to this pick me list, or is this totally different?
It's related in the sense of people,
I don't know what that is.
People think that B. Simone is being a pick me. Basically, pick me's are mainly women or people who are just kind of they do kind of everything for men and for the male gaze. So basically it's like they'll be like, yeah, I don't mind cooking for my man, I don't mind doing this for my man, oh yeah, I'll acts of service is my love language, I'll go and do everything for them. And that's what kind of like where pick-meism has come from.
Pick-meism, so it's the act of doing things
to impress.
To impress the male gaze,
men,
basically.
or to impress your man.
I think it could be anything though. So like, you could get pick-me's when it comes to race, like black pick-me's that do things. They throw black people under the bus to like gain white approval.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like
that's true.
Women that throw other women under the bus for like, I'm not like the other girls. I'm like, I roller skate. I'm joking. But do you know what I mean? Like,
I was thinking more of like, I'm not like other girls because my hair is this curl texture or something like that. Or or like, I'm not like other girls because I can cook a 5-course meal.
Yeah, I wear trainers.
Trainers.
So is this considered bad thing that people don't want to be a pick me. Because if it's in the sense where there's a relationship and a female and a man are together, and the female just generally loves doing this for her man, and the man isn't necessarily, he's not necessarily taking advantage of her.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how the relationship works and they're both happy. Is that?
It's kind of in the sense of when it's in the sense, so say if it's like in a relationship and it's like you want to shout about all the things that you're doing for your man or all the things you do for fictional man that you haven't got yet. And it's kind of like, okay, well, why are you shouting? Why are you telling us how much you really want to just like serve your man so much? And it's more for the benefit of men kind of thing. So it's like you're shouting about all the things that you would do for men in the sense of, oh yeah, I'll do all of this to impress men kind of thing. I feel like, because being a pick-me was like a really big thing. I feel like it was something we grew up with where...
Is that being offered up?
Yeah, I feel like
the culture of it, maybe not the name, but
you wouldn't know about it, but say it's like women kind of, even like kind of going out and dressing up in the sense of, oh, I'm going out so men find me attractive kind of thing. That's like a sort of kind of pick me culture, or like, oh yeah, I'm so amazing because I can cook and I'll be able to cook for my family when I'm older. And it's that kind of mentality of, okay, so are you cooking for yourself because so you have that life skill, or are you cooking to impress men kind of thing? So you can cook for your man, but what is your man doing? Can your man cook? And it's that.
So it's a thing of having the ability to do some certain stuff, but where does the intentions of wanting to do it stem from?
Yeah, is it because you're trying to impress? Yeah. Or is it because you're doing it for yourself? Like, are you happy that you've got the skill, or are you trying to make people feel happy for you? Or
I guess in a sense of the example you said of people going out, the first thing I thought was, isn't that sort of like just a bit of like human nature? Like, as men and women, like, if you're straight, well, a lot of things you do is for...
I see, now that I've grown up, no, because I get dressed because I want to look nice for myself. Because look, I'm just cute, and that's it. So like, I feel like now it's like I'm not getting dressed so people look at me and think I look nice, because I get dressed so I can look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, I look nice.
Yeah, it is
in that sense. And I feel like, but that is something that, because I feel like the culture of it anyway, we've grown up with that, okay, look nice so you're presentable to everyone else. Whereas I feel like a lot of people are growing out of that now to kind of be like, let me look nice because that's how I want to feel, and that's what helps me feel better in the morning when I get out of bed kind of thing.
I still think people though, like, have it like in their mind somewhere when they go out, if they don't get attention at all, like a little bit, like if I went out with all my friends and all of my friends were getting attention from people and I was the only one that wasn't, I'd feel a bit like I can't lie, I'd just be a bit like, oh, do I look bad? Like, do I look
I get you.
Is there something on my face? But it's not because I go out for like male approval and I dress up for male approval. It's just like, it's just something that's there. Like,
I mean,
maybe it's to do with like, just, I don't even know. I don't know.
I mean, in that specific example, I feel like that would be understandable. Yeah. Like, even me as a guy, if I was out and I was with 2-3 other guys and, we would talk to other group of girls and a lot of them were getting attention or whatever, and no one was like, I would feel like as well, like, what's going on? So I feel like that's in that specific situation, that's very understandable.
I feel like in that situation, if you just go to the bar, they'll follow.
So this is like, this is funny because... Because I'm gonna say something, but I want to ask first. Is there a situation, and maybe not you guys are in this situation right now, but is there a situation where females are out and if a guy doesn't come up to them or talk to them, they would feel bad at the end of the night, like, what the hell? Like,
no, because I feel like, because even in that situation, I haven't gone out looking to get man or looking to get someone's number or anything anyway. Because there's times when you go out and then when guys are harassing you, it's just like, please leave me alone. Like, I didn't ask you to follow me around here. Like,
it's also like, say that hypothetical, this female she didn't care, she wasn't trying to look for like men's approval, she wasn't out here to whatever, she was just with her friends, but at the same time, at the end of the night, no one really.
Yeah, but that's happened lots of times.
Yeah, but at the end of the night,
I just feel like, well, I had a good night anyway. I was with my friends in the first place.
Are there some females out there that would feel like...
Yeah, definitely.
Some type of way
about that? It depends
what
they were looking for on that night out. Like, there's times, and especially when we were younger, like especially kind of like freshers, like like uni times and whatever, like you go out and if that's what you were looking for, and then everyone else is getting with people, then it's just a bit like, oh, nothing happened with me today. But then it's like, even for me now, I feel like that was like a younger mindset, and I've kind of grown out of it. So it's like less likely to be disappointed if I didn't get attention.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like at this age, like people aren't really approaching people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think social media, people just skip face to face and go to Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I don't even see, people don't really go into DMs that much now, do they? I don't think people are sliding in DMs that much. Oh, are you sliding in people's DMs?
I mean, listen,
how many people's DMs are you in?
I'm not in that many people's DMs. I'm not in that many people's DMs.
Oh, that many?
Nah.
Should we say like 3 or 5?
Like 10.
Nah.
12.
Nah.
He's thinking back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, that's not at all. I said, Bobby. Nah. What I was gonna say was that, to your point, for men, I definitely know that there are certain guys that would go out and with heavy intentions to look at a girl or talk to a girl, find a girl. Yeah. And it's like one of the second episode, I was talking to someone about it. You know, some guys don't just go to like the dance just to have fun, just to be there with their guys or whoever they're with. It is very much a thing of, all right, let's step in, like who's, and I don't know if, I'm trying to think about males and why we do that.
I think that was like a cultural thing as well. Like the same way as women were going to look for man, like obviously you got man looking for girl, and it was this. I think it was just a thing where it's like, because that's what you went out for. Those were the intentions you had to go out for. When you leave not getting that, then you feel dejected. However, if you go out with intentions, I'm gonna have a good time with my boys, or I'm gonna have a good time with my girls, then you'll end up having a good time regardless of what happens. It's just like, oh, it's just a bonus if you meet someone, exactly, kind of thing. So I think more people should try and have those intentions when they're going out, and you'll have a better time and you'll feel less dejected afterwards.
It's about your intentions really, and what you're looking for. You know, one of the other things that I thought was interesting because of the subject of it was your review of Malcolm and Marie, the movie. And how just...
Okay, I'm interested to hear. What did you think of it?
I mean, okay, well, spoiler alert. If you ain't seen the movie Malcolm and Marie on Netflix, yeah, sorry, like, just skip this bit. I guess we'll put up something for them, the ones who really want to watch it. Yeah, so first of all, I love the film. Okay. And I feel like they told you from the get-go, like, this is not... What did they say in the trailer or something? I watched it. It said something like, this is not a love story. It's a story about love or something.
I don't watch trailers because...
Yeah, I'd try not to as well. But this one, like, I saw them two acting and I thought, what is this? Like, I want to check it out. Yeah. But sometimes I don't because it ruins like your view of it. Especially if they're crap. But no, so I watched it. I had to watch it one more time, which was funny because I know you guys said you would never watch it again. Yeah. So this is what I was so interested to, because you guys were, so you were sort of like, I'm never putting this on again.
No, I can't put myself through that.
I feel like, of course, it was an extreme version of a situation, a relationship, the way the argument went. You know, I don't think every couple's like that. Some couple, if you are a couple like that, then you need to start, you know, you need to sort something out, because that's
therapy.
A bit,
might help a little bit.
But I felt like it was interesting because I feel like it was like well written, because they break up. I think the arguments, they have like 4 arguments through the movie, where they're okay and then they get into something again. And I saw it as, even though I shouldn't really see it like this, but I saw it as like, I think the movie ended 2-2.
Like what, as in who won the argument?
Yeah. I know it's not really good for me to see it like this, but I feel like as in who had the last word and who got something off. Okay. I feel like it ended 2-2. I think the first one was definitely Marie, you know, with getting him to admit that the thing was, it wouldn't be good if she wasn't in his life, and him apologizing and whatnot.
But then why was he trying to get her to admit that?
No, she was trying to get him to admit it. Oh. That the movie wasn't as good. And
even that was toxic.
Yeah, I mean, if she feels like, well, the whole premise of it is that, like, gratitude. She doesn't feel like he's grateful for her presence in general. which leads on to the next argument, because when he goes off when she's in the bathtub and he's telling her about all the girls that which was unnecessary. But when he was at the table and she said to him, who else is it based on? He tried to avoid it.
Yeah.
He said other people. He didn't want to go into a tangent on who it was about. And she looked at him like, oh yeah, right, other people. And then when he finally got into it, she didn't really like that. So he sort of left that one like with one up. And then the next thing they had, where she was, I think it was a bit before that, where she was accusing him of only being with her because she was material, which I think was a wild accusation.
I actually don't.
I think that's look, for you to be in a relationship with someone for however long they wait, we don't know. But, you know, they supposedly love each other.
Yeah.
And for you to be with the person, you think the only reason why this person was with you in the beginning because they wanted material for you.
Yeah.
And you're still in this situation with them and you love them. It's like, that's a wild accusation to give someone that you love.
Also, his backlog of his past relationships kind of was like...
Yeah, no, you said that and I was like, okay, yeah.
It's like his backlog of relationships were looking for, quote unquote, damaged.
Yeah.
Damaged women to be in relationships with. And it's like, okay, so he could have been looking for material in all of his past relationships as well, which he got apparently from them because he made his movie. It was about all of them all together. So,
but I saw it as like cynical that someone someone would think that's someone's intentions. And I know there are cynical people out there, like evil people out there, but
I think probably from what she's experienced with him and then maybe kind of thinking, you know what, it seems like you're only with me because I've gone through these experiences. You've got none of those experiences. So where are you going to draw inspiration from? This is what you seem to be very interested in putting in your movie, but you have no experience in that. Instead of going out and interviewing people, like you've dated a lot of women who have had similar backgrounds and experiences to her, Marie, in the film. And then, so I can kind of understand why she would accuse that. However, I understand what you mean about, okay, you've been in a relationship so long, but at the same time, like, I think they're both like the toxicity.
Yeah, of
I think
course.
they're
I think
loving it.
like part of them characters about it. One of the things I just thought about.
That's why they love the arguing.
Yeah. One of the things I thought about was one of the situations in the movie I think I really agreed with was
I'm ready.
is when he was talking to her about her not wanting it enough, not wanting to be an actor enough.
Okay, yeah.
And saying about, you know, you need to whatever, you need to really get down and get yourself down because no one's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
And then her saying whatever, you know, I didn't do it because I didn't feel like you wanted me to, whatever. Or I don't have enough time because I'm so into what you're doing. I don't have enough time for my stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a bit like...
There were a lot of excuses.
Yeah. But does that relate a bit to the first thing we spoke about the manifestation list? Like, about girls not expecting, but hoping for these things in their man and not really...
Maybe...
It stood out to me. One of the other themes that I thought about, which is something that I believe that, because I mean, it's biased because I'm a man, but I believe that, you know, I've always said this for a while now, that a girl, like if they're in a relationship, a female should never, well, my example is in public. A female should never, and in the movie it was in private, but a female should never, like, it's very dangerous for a female to, I don't mean this in like a horrible way. Should never like test like a man's masculinity in public. That's what I always say, in public. Even though in the film she does it in private. When she was talking about him being privileged and whatnot, you know nothing what it's like to be, you know, a struggle, whatever, which tests a man's masculinity. It does. That's probably why he got so triggered. But I would say that a female should never do that in public, in front of people. I feel like that's one of the worst things you can do to a man.
I think
is like minimize him. Yeah,
because to be honest, I think it was toxic when she did, like, literally, we're not on anyone's side with this film. This is why we didn't like it. We're not on anyone's side with this film because there was things that she was doing where it seemed like she was trying to aggravate him. And then when he came back with his rubbish and then she get upset and it was just like, you've just asked him to come back at you. And he's come back with a lot of him. and a lot of toxic energy. And it was just, and it was just like, okay, I don't know what you expected to get from this part, but I don't know.
I wonder how they woke up the next day, because like it seemed really, really like sour. Like I couldn't imagine waking up the next day and then
they're going to be having more arguments.
Yeah, exactly.
This is every day for them.
Would you?
If that was a small 4-hour period before they went to bed, because they just did not want to go to bed in this film. This is like a small 4-hour period. They argue all the time, 24/7. They're arguing.
Yeah.
Would you? Are you on the side of, if you're in an argument or whatever, or an argument's about to start, no, leave it, talk about it tomorrow, go to bed, or no, talk about it, address it.
I'm on the
address
side
it now
of,
and go to bed at a decent.
To be honest, for me, I'm not an argumentative person. So I'm more of, can we just address the situation? Like, I'm not okay with this. Or like, actually, I'm more of the person who I just won't talk. And I'll just keep it to myself. And then, and I'll sort it out myself first. And then I'll decide if it needs to be addressed. But I'm more of a person who like, can we address this first and talk about it? And then, rather than I'm not really argumentative to start screaming and shouting about something.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit of both, because I can see why you'd wait, because some people like they react emotionally to things rather than logically. Some people need time to like sit and think about, what do I actually want to say, like without jumping down someone's throat. I want some time to like process my emotions. So I understand why some people would go to bed. And if you did want to go to bed, at least go to bed like and say, we're fine, like I'm a bit pissed off at this, but like we'll speak about it tomorrow, I'm fine, I love you, whatever. But like I wouldn't do what they did and just keep going at each other, then run outside, then get in the bath, like and pull a knife out. It was just it was all extreme. Like, come on, just go to bed. It's like 1 a.m.
Literally, I think it was later than that. I think they went to bed at 4.
Oh, draining. Yeah, very draining.
They were going on for far too long.
I mean, I think the initial reason why they never went bed straight away is because they were on he was most like he was on a high.
Yeah, but he didn't notice that she was in a mood for so long.
That's a problem.
She went and cooked him foods and everything, and she was banging things around. That's how you know when someone's in a mood.
Yeah, that's a problem, guys. Not
and she just cooked him food as well. She didn't even bother cooking anything for herself. She was just like, "Here's your food. I know that you're hungry."
It wasn't like a gourmet meal though, was it?
Yeah.
The mac and cheese.
It looks a bit gross,
from a tin, wasn't it? Or from a packet.
It's very like watery.
Yeah, she's just like
slimy. Eat your damn pasta.
Because it's their version of Indomie, I guess. But yeah, that I wonder if that's a thing like men we don't. I feel like I do okay, but I feel like we don't recognize the females. How they are sometimes. So when something's wrong,
I feel like we can't really say that's a problem with men. I feel like that's like can be a personal problem, because if you can't read people's emotions or read the room, that's a problem just with you. I think there's women who can't read the room either. But yeah, I just think that was his personality in general.
One of the other things that I definitely loved about that episode I watched, you do it after every episode. You do this
Injectit.
Which is where you
positive vibes.
Yeah,
it's like affirmations.
All of our lives.
Yeah, stuff we've heard like throughout the week that we think, oh, this is nice. Let's share it.
Yeah. So, do you both have one? Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, you've memorized them?
Yeah. Okay. It's just something that I've been telling myself all week.
Yeah.
It's basically I'm the prize. Well, anyone's the prize. You should put yourself like you should see yourself as the prize when it comes to like, I'm guessing lots of people are going to start dating properly again and all that kind of stuff. And I have a bad habit of neglecting things that I enjoy. When I find someone I like I end up rescheduling my plans. Like I'll have these things lined up that I want to do, and then I'll think, oh no, but I'd rather go and see this person. But I just need to think, if they want to like get to know me, be with me,
they'll fit into your schedule.
Yeah, they'll fit in, they'll slot in. It won't be me bending over backwards trying to fit them in.
They can compromise.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my energy for this week.
I'm the prize. You are the prize, people.
This week for me is keep positive. What is yours is coming to you, and that's it. Like that one. It's coming.
Injectit Podcast. I very much appreciate you guys coming down to be on the Kasi Podcast.
Oh, I wanted to ask, do you have one?
Do I have one?
Yeah.
No, I don't have one. Sorry. Actually, the way to full maturity is to find what you lost as a child and regain it.
Okay.
There we go.
I like that.
Go on, find what you lost. Regain your maturity.
Yeah. No, I very much appreciate you guys coming down. Tell people how to find you, how to find the podcast, Instagram, whatever.
So we are at Injectit_pod on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to follow us and tweet us and just let us know what you thought. And yeah,
and your own personal.
So I am at ALXNDR_NIC on Instagram.
And I am at DEANNNABOOKE on Instagram. Find me there.
Yeah.
Thank you for enjoying us.
Thank you for having us as well.
No worries, appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Like, share, and comment, subscribe, all of that. Interact with us. Get in touch with Deanna and Alexandra. We appreciate you. Have a good morning. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay sweet. Stay street.
KVM Productions. KVM Productions.